Last year, you were only 106. You were just a spring chicken.
Yes, teenager of senior citizens.
I'm hoping in your 107 years of wisdom, you could answer this for me.
Okay.
How do I keep my wife happy?
Welcome to the Black River Falls podcast. My name is Jack Taylor, and on this show, I sit down with local community members who are making a difference here in Jackson County. Today, I'm in Pigeon Falls and joined by Wisconsin's oldest man at 107, Reynolds Tomter. In our last interview, Reynolds gave us his amazing life story, but in this interview, Reynolds takes questions from you, offering us his advice and wisdom. This is the Black River Falls podcast.
Well, Reynolds, are you ready?
I am ready. You better be.
Good morning to you.
Good morning, and this is the highest priority of the day. For you to be here in Pigeon Falls, and we're drinking coffee together.
Well, I'm happy to be here in Pigeon Falls. Thanks for the invite. Last year, if you remember, we were down in Black River.
Yes.
We were at the brewery having a beer together.
Yes,
and now we're having coffee together.
Yes, you can't beat that.
But last year, you were only 106. You were just a spring chicken.
Yes, teenager of senior citizens.
One of the things already, Reynolds, that impressed me this morning, you drove here this morning at 107 years old.
Yes.
That's incredible. Well, I'm glad that we're sitting down this morning because I understand that tomorrow you have a big day.
From early in the morning.
That you're being flown to France.
Yes.
For the 80th anniversary of D-Day in Normandy.
How lucky can you get?
And the NBC is going to be accompanying you and documenting your trip.
Yep. It's going to be about 300 of us on this plane, I understand. Wow. And I hope that they have a department in that plane where these medics can get parts for us guys so we can keep going.
Some oil for your joints?
Yeah, WD-40.
So Reynolds, I was recently invited to your 107th birthday party at McSweet's in Black River. And I posted a picture of us together on Facebook.
Oh, you did?
Yes. And what I did was I asked the local community if they had any questions that they could ask you. And those are the questions that I'm going to ask today.
Sure.
In our last interview, that video got over 132,000 views.
Really?
Yes. And normally I shoot some videos locally and people like my videos locally. But I got people commenting from all over the country, Texas, Florida, saying happy birthday, saying thank you for your service. So I just wanted to tell you that from the audience that people love you, Reynolds.
How nice. How nice. Thank you. Thank you for all of those things. That's unreal.
So the first question is a little bit selfish. It's just from me because I haven't found anyone that can answer this. So I'm hoping in your 107 years of wisdom, you could answer this for me.
Okay.
How do I keep my wife happy?
Call every day to be good to thine wife day.
Okay. Every day, be good to thy wife day.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. That's going to be tough. So my first question is, your generation is often called the greatest generation of men and women. What can we learn from you guys? What made you so great, so special?
Well, I guess more or less starting out with a family feeling.
Family was important to your generation.
Yes, the family was so important, and it still is. And it's, things have changed since that, I think. We got a fast-moving world, fast-moving technology today, which is great.
Yeah, and I feel that in today's, like you say, today's technology, fast-paced world.
Yes.
I feel pulled sometimes away from family, from my phone, from social media, from career, to so many different distractions.
Yep.
And so your advice would be to make sure that family,
number one, and friends.
Family and friends.
And I think that was very important in the past, in my early years. For instance, my dad, if he was in trouble out on a hayfield or something, why the neighbors would see him and they'd be right up there trying to give him a hand and find out what's going on. Everybody keeping track of each other. And that's been a wonderful life.
Well, that's great advice.
Yes.
Another question I have from the audience is, what was the happiest moment or one of the happiest moments of your life?
Marriage, of course, is number one, always.
Your wedding day?
The wedding date. But I do have another highlight. In 2010, I got a freedom flight from La Crosse to Washington, D.C.
Really?
The La Crosse Bugle Corps, Drum and Bugle Corps, they were there entertaining, and it was party time, and what a send-off. It was unbelievable to believe that there could be, everybody would be interested enough in even coming for an event like that.
You felt honored.
Oh, I was honored.
And is that another piece of advice you think for my generation, is to continue to honor those who served and who came before us?
Right on. Yes, very important.
And that's easy to forget sometimes too, because life is so fast.
Well, everybody gets busy and it's hard to keep that thought in mind.
All right, before we get to our next question, we can take some sips.
Yep.
You're doing a great job. This is awesome.
Wonderful.
This is awesome.
Do you want a warm cup of coffee, Reynolds?
No, I was just fine. Yep.
Okay, my next question. Are you ready for it?
Yep.
What has been good and what has been bad about getting older?
Well, I guess getting older, there's higher maintenance, more rust. Like an old car, you get rust spots, and then you got to patch. And for instance, living on a farm, my mother didn't boil any milk. We had raw milk. Maybe the immune system was strong from all of these things that I've been eating in my early years.
Yeah. Reynolds, if you could go back to any age, from 0 to 107, what age would you go back?
Waiting to be able to vote.
That was important to you.
Yes, it was. We had this two-party system, and they agreed on things. They don't seem to want to get along on anything. It's just they're all concerned about their own party.
And you're seeing that's different today.
Oh, yes.
So that would be advice from your generation, the greatest generation, to our generation.
Yes.
Is, hey, when we're voting, when we're coming together to get something done, work together.
Yes. Yes to all of that. Again, I'll say that's my own opinion.
I agree with you. Reynolds. So here we have a question from Justin Doherty. It's kind of a funny one. He said, my question would be, where does Reynolds see himself in 10 years? What's your 10-year plan?
Well, to keep going the way I am going, keeping my health good enough so that I can be with all my friends. I enjoy life because I'm a people person. I've been that way all my life.
And as funny as that question is, as a 107-year-old, how often do you think about passing away and what's next? And are you scared of what's next?
When I was 100, I can remember that evening at home. I sat by the dining room table and I thought, oh my gosh, am I ever old? But I have never been fearful of my last days, not at all, because I've been so lucky. I've been so blessed. I have no fear, but I'm still enjoying every day.
Yeah. Okay, if you could go back in time and talk to the 25-year-old Reynolds Tomter, what advice would you give yourself?
Thinking about it, I wish I'd have done this, but there's, of course, lots of investments that I should have made that I didn't do.
Like what?
Well, for instance, maybe buying some land. And when I sold my store in 71, a guy come up to me and he said, and he was an investor. He said, "No, Reynolds," he said, "I got the right thing for you to get into." He said, "Make a whole bunch of rentals around here." But I didn't do anything about it. And I should have, because I would have been on the ground floor.
So one of the pieces of advice you'd give your 25-year-old self is to save your money and invest it, maybe into hard assets like land or rental houses or storage sheds.
Yes.
I just have a couple more questions.
Yep.
And then I'll let you get back to your buddies. What is your favorite vacation spot in Wisconsin?
Is to go to Wisconsin Dells.
You like the Dells?
I like the Dells.
What do you like about the Dells?
I like their golf courses, and of course the grandchildren, they love getting in on the shows they have, and it's got entertainment for everybody.
Another question I have is, how does Reynolds keep his youthful appearance?
That's automatic. In the morning, get a broom and just sweep yourself off and keep the dust off. I guess I've always been a little thoughtful about what I wear, so I've tried to keep looking decent.
That's another thing that my generation, I think, is a little bit different than yours.
Yes, it is.
Where you look back and the fashion has really diminished in our generation.
Yes.
Lots of sweatpants and spandex and flip-flops.
Yep. I wanted to be respected. That was the main thing.
Sure.
Yep.
Yep. First impressions matter.
Yes.
Yeah.
It meant a lot to me.
Yeah. How do you stay so positive and have this awesome attitude? Because, whether it's my generation or younger, a little bit older, mental health has been tough for us.
Yep.
Whether it's technology, because of technology, or because of a changing world. Like when you noticed yourself getting negative or being down, or your mental health wasn't great, how do you turn yourself around and stay positive?
It's kind of automatic.
And what would your advice to be for those of us who maybe it's not so automatic, but we want to be positive like you?
Consider yourself how lucky you are. Because you are lucky you're doing this, and you got a job, and you've got a home, or you got your mom and dad, and you got your own kids. You got a lot to be thankful for.
So maybe pause, stop focusing on the negative.
Absolutely.
And try to be grateful for what you do have.
You already have got everything.
Yeah. Yep. That's great advice. Well, Reynolds, I only have one more question.
Yep.
And this comes from my 7-year-old daughter, Abigail. Okay. So she wanted to ask you, and maybe I should give you some backstory. So my family wants a dog, but dogs, I don't know, they require work. You got to walk them. If you go on vacation, someone's got to dog sit them. It just comes with some baggage.
Yeah.
She asks you, do you think my dad should buy us a dog? So do you think, so I have a 7-year-old and a 2-year-old daughter and a wife who all would like a dog, and I'm the one stopping them. Do you think I should get them a dog?
I guess so.
Reynolds, I thought you were on my team here.
Yes, you should have a dog.
Okay.
Anyway, yeah.
Well, Reynolds, again, for our second interview and maybe our last one, I appreciate you so much for taking the time.
I tell you what, you're a good man at interviewing. You make me not only feel good, but you even make me look good. So thank you.
Yes. Well, I hope you have a great trip and that you're honored the way you should be honored.
Well, I tell you, I feel like I'm getting a lot that I haven't earned, because this is quite a trip. It's massive. and for me to be along on it. It's a celebration for history.
Yes. And you're representing the whole area. You're representing
It's
Pigeon
unreal.
Falls, Black River Falls, Jackson County, Wisconsin, the Merchant Marines.
I feel like I'm extremely lucky,
Yes.
and I'm glad I had the privilege.
Yep.
So
Awesome.
I'm going to enjoy it.
Good. Thanks, Reynolds. That was awesome. But now I have to get a dog.
This is the Black River Falls Podcast.